Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Shelter. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, $5 a month. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we were in like Max's twin brother's mind, or memories, where they like told that there was some kind of bandits people that joined shelter to the winter or to the grove, and then the grove got him, but then I guess they didn't get him because they're back. Also, Max went to fight, which degraded his crystal, and there was a bit of anger between not Alon, this character and Max, and yeah, just a bunch of background stuff. Also, Thistle got a fancy new trinket. Yeah, anyways, let's just our face. Let's start. A wolf-like ice figure looks at me from the top of the cliff, standing on four lanky legs, as I walk down a frozen gorge. The moment I blink, it disappears. The unnatural howl reverberates through the cold air and across the surface of the frozen river I walk on. I can see more of the weird creatures running far in between the rocks, yet it's hard for me to pinpoint their location. Their minds are weird. So it's true, what I was told. He really toys with lives, even now in secret. I guess that could be... what is his name? Burry's, special ability. Though I wonder, why would he do it now? Anyways, I noticed a sudden movement behind me. Then, on the sides of the ravine. The ice creature skunk in the shadows. They surround me where I can't see them. At least 7 of them. Are they preparing to attack me? I knew it. I knew he was hiding something despicable. Something he couldn't allow anyone to witness. That was what my informant confirmed to me. He advised me against investigating that further. There is barkness in that dog's heart. You do not want to disturb. Else it swallows you and your ambitions both, he said. Oh, I know that. I am very well aware of what kind of monster he is, yet that doesn't change the fact I'm running out of time and options. I will find out whatever that he's hiding, and I'll use that to force him to do my bidding, whatever it takes. It's around that time that the presence of the ice creatures, it's been a long day, minds become clearer. It's still unnatural, but I can definitely feel their attention being locked onto me with an intention of an assault. I'm not as strong as a fighter's Max. I could never defeat a whole pack of enemies in a direct confrontation with just my hands. Neither would I be able to flee at this point. But I intended to neither run nor be defeated today. I came prepared. Shelter Tech. I press and hold 2 buttons on the opposite sides of a relic waistband, making the harness around my torso and limbs flare up with power. It's around that time when one of the presences splits from the pack. It rushes me from behind. A moment later, the rest of them follow from different points outside my vision. The one behind me leaps into the air in an attempt to pounce me from behind. It aims straight at my head. The moment of full power of the relic harnesses finally activates, engulfing me in a searing heat that makes the cold air around me blow with the white cloud of steam. I spin on my heel. Amber Circuit. And as I shout and swing my arm, the steaming hot form, strengthened by the relic's harness's power, cuts through the ice creature's neck like a hot knife through butter. as I narrowly avoided sharp teeth. Yet, it still managed to reach my cheek with its long, smooth tongue, making it melt on my hot fur and skin. Wait, the tongue? As the ice wolf's half-melted body falls towards the surface of the frozen river, the flow of emotions from its severed head flashes through even clearer than before. It was an ambush, yes. It also wasn't aggressive. There was happiness and excitement in it. The creature was greeting me? It isn't until the head finally hits the ice that the happiness turns into confusion. The bright specks of light, acting like for eyes, tremble in discomfort, as a half-melted jaw ultimately breaks off from the impact. The other ice wolves stop in their tracks, and the empathetic wave among us grows dark and unpleasant. I'm stumped. I don't know how to react. I came here fully prepared for conflict, but not for the opposite of that. Suddenly, I slip. With the extreme heat still emaciating my body, I didn't realize how quickly my feet sank into the ice. I can't stay long in one place using the relic here. But the moment of indecision was already a moment too long. Even when I try to kick myself out of the deepening puddle of water, my feet find no purchase in the constantly melting ice. Then I raise my feet to make a faster kick, at a fully amplified strength. Yet all it does is shatter the bottom layer of ice and send me underwater. The water bubbles around me as I struggle to stay aloft. Trying to claw onto the surface yields no better results than grasping at a stream. I try to turn the relic off, but I can't locate the little slippery buttons in my panic. I try to do that while waving my feet around with all my strength, but I still sink deeper underwater. Since all of it happened so fast, I wasn't even able to take a proper breath. The moment I feel my lungs growing too hot and heavy, I give up on locating the buttons and frantically swim to the surface. Yet even then, I'm unable to take the proper breath without choking on wildly bubbling water. I can't decide between using my hands to stay afloat or looking for the buttons, and I fail at both. Then, something heavy falls on my back, instantaneously dragging me to the very bottom of the riverbed. A big hand presses against the backside of the harness, and I feel a blast of magic passing through me. Thick fingers envelop my whole wrist and squeeze it. The relic finally stops working, and I feel the cold of the water piercing through my body as the river's current drags us under the thick layer of ice. The big dog holds me by the scruff of my neck while dragging both of us towards the ice. Then, he makes a flip and shatters its surface with a powerful magic charge kick. He forcefully pushes my head through the chunks of broken ice, and when multiple jaws pull me onto the surface by my neck and shoulders, then. Finally, I can see the sun clearly again as I take a deep breath of cold air. The ice wolf creatures drag me towards the solid rock. Sorry. It's been a long day. A rock bed at the side of the gorge. As I look behind me, shivering from the sudden cold, I see the giant St. Bernard dog climbing through the ice up to the surface with the help of his magic minions. I tremble in the cold and fear as he approaches, looks down at me, and kneels by my side. Then he grabs my wrist and presses the two buttons to turn the harness back on again, before taking a few hasty steps back. It doesn't take long for the relic to heat up again. For your information, there are two emergency shutdown switches on your sides down there, much easier to access in a pinch. However, I would advise against using those unless absolutely necessary. Terminating the magic that way makes it harder to turn the relic back on later for some reason. I nod, still dazed, and turn the relic off the normal way by pressing the two annoyingly slippery buttons on my wrist strap. The harness stops buzzing and leaves me cold again. but now I'm completely dry and not at risk of freezing to death anymore. I stare at Burry Tangleroot with a straight face. He stares back at me with those deceptively slitty eyes. Then he laughs. Oh my, it's quite a dumb of you, was it not? If you want to use relics for keeping yourself warm with your short fur, you should definitely mind your surroundings next time, Master Acri. But you did not come here equipped with the amber circuit just for warmth, did you? You knew about them. My brothers. Your... what? Burry Tango chuckles again, while I look around at the animated ice figures around me. I feel a terrible chill running down my spine, while staring into their eyes of white light. It takes me a moment to let his words sink in. Then one of those creatures brings him the severed head of the wolf that attacked me. With its jaw broken off, there isn't a single joint that can move, but the two eyes are still glowing in the ice skull. The big Saint Bernard takes the broken ice head in his hands and stares at it silently. Arlo says he's sorry for scaring you. He was merely romping around. Oh, I see. Well, I didn't know that. Oh, that is what you get for not listening to Gus, Arlo. Now, playtime is over. I'm sorry, but I have to go back to sleep. But you have to go back to sleep, all of you. I take a step back, when the dog lets out a loud, long sigh. As he does, all the ice wolves around us grow tense. The air around me feels even chillier from the sudden release of magic. And their eyes dim out, leaving nothing but lifeless, motionless, half-transparent sculptures. Only one of them still remains active, the biggest one. With some kind of white collar fastened around its neck, the creature walks a few steps on its trembling legs. But then it stops. It looks at Burry Tangleroot. It shakes its head. The dog puts his hand on the top of his ice brother's head, and stays with him in silence, while the eyes slowly dim out across the span of almost a minute. Then he unfastens the collar and takes a few steps back, lost in thought. You stayed stable longer this time. Good. What is going on here? Oh, so you do not know? Color me surprised. I expected Luke to not have any secrets from you at this point. He knows about this? Oh, he does. I trust Luke with my life, and theirs. I have no secrets from him. It's quite reassuring to know he never broke that trust. He really is a good boy. But who could possibly tell you about them if Luke stayed quiet? Does he even know you are here? There were rumors. I need to know what they were about. As for Luke, he was actually asking me to talk to you for the longest time. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. I say all of that with a straight face. Sorry, it has been a long day. Wrapping my thoughts in the mindset of honesty. As long as I don't lie in matters of what I want to keep unspoken, I should be able to convince his empathy. He doesn't need to know about my informant or my secret intentions for coming here. His own mind feels pretty honest as well, calm, assertive, and yet calculating. Thank you for coming to see me, then. I was looking forward to talking to you too. It seemed to me like you were avoiding me all this time, Master Acri. What? Really? No, that's... Master Acri, I know you are an expert in empathy, but I have had my fair share of training and years of professional experience as well. At least enough to know that you do not feel too comfortable around me. Yes, I know about your skills and proficiency, Burry Tangleroot. And that must be the exact reason for the cold in your mind and heart, correct? Even after so many years of retirement, my old infamy still precedes me. You don't look like a retired dog to me. You've been keeping yourself busy. Tch, indeed. I guess there is never true rest for the dogs of knowledge. There's still so much that has to be done in to set things right. But I definitely see progress, as slow as it is. Last time we tried this experiment, Ghost literally started falling apart the moment I stopped burning my ember, even with the collar on. In the end, you really cannot expect the relics of the ancients to fix all your problems, huh? They are nothing but tools, and they can either be a blessing or misfortune, depending on the hands wielding them. But who am I to explain that to you? You experienced that on your own hide just a moment ago. Using amber circuit on full heat on top of a deep frozen river, a creative, though certainly a bit thoughtless way to produce heat. Last I saw, using it utilize it purely for its strength enhancing qualities, for hefty manual work. The heat is supposedly a side effect. Is that not right? I imagine you will draw it out. You will draw out all of its power in no time if you keep using it with those weird settings. Yeah, that would be a waste. It is one of the top grades. But what about your collar? What does it do? I haven't seen that relic before. How about you and I retire to a nice cover to have our talk? My body may be blessed with a generous layer of insulation, but I will still die if I stay exposed to strong winds like these with my clothes and fur all drenched in water. He smiles and starts walking away. Burry Tangle Route. Lead me to a secondary location? Huh. That's concerning. It is the most basic rule of survival to rather fight kicking and screaming than to let an insulter lead you to his hiding place. However, he had the chance to kill me or bind me, but he didn't. He helped me out. Is it safe then? I proceed cautiously, keeping an eye on the ice wolves. However, they don't show any signs of coming back to life. I sighed to follow him. Some of the things he said to me made me curious. Those creepy, living beings of ice. What did he mean by calling them brothers? I really hope it wasn't just a weird figure of speech, but the way he treated them makes me really suspicious. So, you come quite far, huh? Far south. Luke told me. From the Cat Kingdom? It's a fascinating story for you two Dachshunds to share. Your iron determination, and your brother's fine style. I am simply dying to know what the source of those two great powers could be. Whenever he strikes, I swear I can smell orange. How could that possibly be? Huh? Wait. Is he reading me right now? Is he trying to interrogate me? The moment I think that, and get defensive in my own mind, he shakes his head and waves his hand in an apologetic way. Ah, forgive me, please. I meant no disrespect. It is an old habit of mine. I didn't say anything. There was no need, and there was also definitely no need for me to try sniffing where my nose did not belong. We're all outcasts here. Whatever the thing the two of you are running away from is, that is absolutely no concern of mine. Convenient of him to say that. Out of all the dogs in the world, he would benefit from the blank slate the most, after all. But our sins aren't equal, not by a long shot. It's imprudent and shameless of him to even insinuate we are similar in any way. Even if he tries to forget what he did, everyone impacted will remember for him. Back, yeah. And they will hold him accountable. I scratch my head sheepishly, shrouding those thoughts in a facade of embarrassment. My companion chuckles. Still, I am genuinely glad that you ended up here with us. Your appearance has been nothing but a blessing to everyone. You still have my gratitude, Master Acri. A lot has changed for the better since you and Max came to us. We need someone like you to get Shelter straight. Because there's too much gayness here. I mean, literally, everyone's in everyone's butts. Nothing to thank me for. This is my home, and my pack too, of course. I want to feel safe on my own den. Yeah, let me just take a picture, check time and take pictures to like go, okay, that's what the thing is. That isn't obvious, is it not? And yet, it takes exceptional dogs from far to put the obvious into action. We knew that too, yet failed at leading our community into the right path. Rune was a general with experience in enforcing his will on others, but that was not a knowledge helpful in creating that perfect community we wanted. Luke, he's too kind-hearted to do what needs to be done. He loves us, but his understanding of us is too, well, idealized. Master Acri, I want to thank you for getting rid of Shagbark and his pack, despite Luke's objections. That was a hard but right thing to do. Of course, he says that, but he sees no value in a dog's life, that monster. I did that because I couldn't find any other way. You can't just coddle everyone into submission. Still, I didn't make that decision lightly, and I take no pride in that. First, I antagonize Shadbark's pack to alleviate and grow my own influence within Shelter, and then I kicked him out of our den into the jaws of the grove. No wonder they came back to harass us and steal from us. I deserve that. We haven't heard from them in a while, but I get a nasty feeling they're gonna come back and buy us again, sooner or later. Oh, is this gonna be what it is? Then this is the party that's gonna cut the gun? Because I don't see any real reason why anyone that we know of would do that. Being praised for that by Burry Tangleroot, out of all people, makes me doubt that decision even more now. Here we are. Make yourself at home. We enter the small cavern, with a small campfire and pieces of broken relics lying around all over the ground. I recognize some of them. They are mostly simple low-grade accessories, with weak effects, or deemed unusable at all. I tread towards the fire carefully, trying to avoid the screws and sharp shards of glass and metal. I still keep my attention sharp, ready to fight back if you want to assault me at any point. You want to know what I was doing here, and about my brothers, correct? I feel I owe you honesty, Master Acri. After all, without your contribution, we would have not made our shelter as stable as it is now. Without you, neither Luke nor Rune would have a chance to enjoy their lives with as much freedom. And I would not be able to dedicate as much of my time into the research to give my brothers their lives back. Except you have no brothers, Sir Tangleroot. I know that for certain. I studied your life. You were the only trained Tangleroot of your generation. Yes, of course, that would be what you learned. That is certainly a decent way to make sense of all those holes torn across the fabric of the world, huh? A curious and horrible thing, is it not? Corruption, shattering, or whatever other name is given to it at the time, turns you into those awful creatures, makes everyone forget about you, forever. And, oh, how efficient is it at that? Not even the most precious memory is spared that fate, and yet people's lives continue to flow unbroken. Even though a good boy is gone, the changes they had brought into the world remain. Only the cause in the people's perception is twisted. Physical records become unreadable. And while it's possible to make sense of those blanks with vague explanation, a lot of the impact can still be felt by the people who were touched by the lost ones the most. The world can force us to make sense of most things even though a person is no more, and yet it cannot fill the hole that remains in the lives they touched and entwined with. There are so many poor boys who lead such awfully lonely lives. They don't know why that is, but they feel there is some important pieces missing from making them whole. And very often, they are correct. They wait and wait. They wait forever for what they used to have, but now is forever gone. Is that not the most cruel fate? Why are you telling me all this? Oh, forgive my rambling. I tend to get emotional and introspective when using Amicus Dale, seeing my brothers and all that. Is that Amicus Dale? Amicus. God, I've been playing... Fuck, what is it called? Komorebi. It's a good game. Maybe not my favorite. There's like some minus things, but I miss being able to be like, I'm gonna go backwards because I accidentally skipped over a thing. You know? Anyways, a reflection of one's truth onto the world crystallized in the flames of the blaze. Right. Definition of amber, power of emotions, will and determination. There are very few powers in our realm that can rival the might of the self-actualized heart. Harness its might, and the limits of impossibility will crack like old stone. It took all of my youth, and all too many sacrifices, to reach a point where I could keep their memory in my mind freely, and even then, I was no closer to saving everyone as I was at the start. All of that sacrifice, just so I could be dragged towards their side, as I condemn myself to ultimately share in their curse. All of it so pointless, so helpless. But then, out of nowhere, Luke came and made it complete, and proper like it was supposed to be. For me, for Rune Moon, against his will, the impossibility cracks like an eggshell. So, just so I get that clear, are you trying to tell me those ice creatures, are they actually dogs you knew? The dog smiles. Luke's appearance, discovery of shelter, and the relics, that changed everything. If there is any hope in fixing whatever sick curse is plaguing our realm, it lies in those two things combined. And yet, I have no aspiration to change the world. For now, all of my focus is on giving my brothers their rightful lives back. For my family, no cost is too great. I look around the room once again. All of those broken relics. I think I finally start to understand. He's been bringing and destroying them to release the mana charges trapped inside he needs to cast his ember. Oh, okay. Even if those were just some trash relics we had no use for, they would still fetch a good price in the south. With enough research, they could potentially still turn out to be useful and powerful. And there are so many of them here. But as much as I hate the thought of agreeing with him on many things, I can't really argue with his priorities. No cost too great, indeed. Your amber circuit is of an ungulate-based weight-lifting enhancer that produces heat as a side effect. It also grants the wielder some kind of heat resistance in manners more mysterious than magic itself. Its color is similar in some ways. Expels some bursts of chilling cold during extensive use as a side effect due to running on Surian mana. And that's what I hoped to utilize to keep my brothers active for longer. Oh, the collar, yeah. But its actual effect is even more fascinating. It uses the most basic effect of Surian self-regenerating bright stream ability, but abuses it to a ridiculous degree. It doesn't even need the wielder's input in any way. You just put it on your neck, and it will heal you as soon as you receive a wound. It reacts to your pain and instantly brings you relief, so I wonder if that will be useful at some point. I named it Bright, Collar. Perhaps nothing too inventive, but it gets the point across, right? Not everything needs poetic names. It's hard to believe relics powerful as that exist. Care for a presentation? The dog places the relic collar around the neck and presses two buttons. A set of studs along the length dig into his skin, making him gasp and shudder. That's unsettling. You fight with knives and daggers, do you not? Stab me. What? Do it. It's fine. Anywhere you wish. My stomach, my forearm. Just please, if you could avoid slashing my digits off. It is just my deduction, but I assume that if the blade is wider than the limb, the relic may not be able to mend and prevent the severance, and then, well, for example, let me just say, it turned really nasty when you tried reopening Runemoon's old scar in an attempt to grow his right hand. Fair point. Really, really nasty. His mind flashes with discomfort when he describes that event, the empathetic pain for other dogs suffering and his own failure. My own heart is confused. I came here ready for confrontation with an irredeemable monster I've been avoiding ever since I came here. But his words, actions, and the state of his mind indicate him being anything but. The more I listen to him, the more doubt I feel. He possesses a top-grade relic that can turn any warrior invincible, and he tries and fails to use it for the sake of his lost brothers? That doesn't sound like my vision of Burry Tangleroot. I know the human is revealed among him and Runemoon. That day, in the Grove's royal castle, I witnessed with my own eyes how severe his influence can be. Could he have actually changed that mad dog into a good boy too? I don't understand. How am I supposed to feel about my lifelong resentment now? Well, if you don't wish to, there's no need, Master Acri. I know you're trying not to show it, but I can clearly feel how uncomfortable it makes you. I merely thought you could be curious to see it at work, and that is all. No, please, don't take it off yet. You're right, I'm curious. Let me see it, please. I smile, putting my hand on the handle of the dagger by my side. Burry Tangleroot smiles back at me while exposing his arms and torso. This is ridiculous. Am I actually growing a genuine connection with a person I dreamt of using and killing for so long? How? Why? Is this shelter's will speaking to me once again, guiding me through the best path for good of my community and for my brother? That hatred inside me, it festered for so long, it won't let me rest until I let out one way or another. I have to release it, or I won't be free. If I stab him where it hurts the most, like his kidney or belly button, maybe that'll be enough to satisfy that pain. I'm sorry. Thank you. The man looks at me with concern, but he gives me a supportive nod when he reads no animosity in my mind. Still, he must understand by now, that there are some important things I'm hiding from him. Things I plan to share with him for the good of everyone. My shelter. My brother. As soon as I satisfy my thirst for vengeance, we can finally start making everything right. Take a deep breath. Ready to steady my hold on my knife. Take a heavy step forward. But I can't do it. It just doesn't feel right anymore. Fuck. Oh, please, Master Acri. That's enough. I'm deeply sorry. Truly. I hear another click, then the mechanical sound of the bright collar being removed from his neck. I can barely see anything through tears. Master Acri. Burry Tangaroot. We both have been mistreated by overwhelming powers we could never stand up to. We couldn't fight back, so we ran. We hid here at the edge of the world, while they still continue hurting and benefiting from people's pain. Do you think that's fair? No, it is not. One day, we will have to do something to set things right. We cannot stagnate. There is fear and resistance in your mind. I can tell, and I understand that. We aren't ready yet. We can't risk the lives of everyone who depend on us to keep them safe. You have your brothers, and I have mine. I'll do whatever it is in my power to let you continue helping your family in secret, undisturbed. If only you could spare some of your time and knowledge to help us too. We're both out of time and options. You're the only one who can help us. Together, I'm sure we can save our families. You return to us for good, and we will become stronger than ever. And then we will be ready. Of course, I shall help you, Master Acri. Max is important to Luke, to all of us. Thank you. But beyond that, no, we will never be ready for what you have in mind. What? Luke used to say the same things in the past, you know? About taking over the world and all that. But he does so no longer. I think he finally understands. I reckon you should let go of those thoughts as well, Master Acri. We have our peace and freedom. That should be enough. So what? So we should just let them get away with everything they've done us and still keep doing it to others? There's so many evils ruling the world, and we're the only ones blessed with the tools to oppose them. This is the power to fix everything, just like you said. You don't happen to still hold sentiment for the Crimson Royal Grove, do you? Luke told me they hurt you a lot. He never went into the details, but he made it clear that it was something huge. So, all of this, your brother's turning out like this. That's all the wolves doing, isn't it? Let me guess. They sent them through the borderlands for some war that wasn't theirs, and they got corrupted on the cursed land. That's what happened? That's what happened. How can you turn a blind eye to injustice like that? If someone sent my brother to corruption, I would rather die than... No, please stop, Master Acri. You got it all wrong. I'm not as innocent as you take me for. I know, everyone knows. In the past, you've done a lot, but my brothers weren't corrupted in the borderlands. I did it to them. With my own hands. For research. True, it's not out of my own initiative, but I am not going to try to excuse myself or shift blames for things I ultimately chose to follow through. Each of us makes choices, and mine led to the suffering of so many innocent dogs, even my own family, and even Rune's. I was the one who single-handedly murdered his whole platoon, even those two kind-hearted brothers who stood up to save me. I like to delude myself. I am better now. But at least my inaction. But I'm not going to beg for anyone's forgiveness of the past. Sins like that should never be forgiven. Good. I never talk about those things with anyone, but there's something about you too. I think I'm telling you all that because I see some myself in you. Ever since you and Max came here, I felt... No. We're nothing alike. I have no choice but to keep going. And while I do, the best I can do for everyone is... The St. Bernard's eyes widen just for a moment before my blade slices through the hand he just barely protected his face with. His whole pinky finger, half of his forefinger, and the last knuckle of his middle one are all severed by my fleshly sharpened blade. Before the blood has even time to spill through the wounds, before the dog even has time to gasp in shock, I twist and swing my whole arm with a loud shout, aiming the dagger right at the back of his neck. Well, since we're at the 41-minute mark, I think that's a good time to call it, especially since we seem to be at another scene. It do be like that sometimes. So anyways, end of this Let's Play. So, please comment, guys. Like, comment, some you like, dislike, tips, accessories. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that grow. Please remember spending your ammo to help control the pit population. Also, I wonder where the hidden Alons are. You have to keep an eye out for them. Ooh. Though I'm not sure if there'd be in other scenes or if there'd be in these scenes. Who knows? And until next time, I'll say, me, GamerWolfSix of Shelter. So thanks and see ya.